Saturday morning, we're on site at the NHS facility. I have just been here to help sweep and blow and do whatever I can. I've run and grabbed some waste bags. The lads have took care of all this hedge work. It's looking absolutely fantastic. There was a lot of growth here, but we're now back on top of it. Got some line marking to do this afternoon. I'm probably not going to film that because I just want to get done and get home and get rested. But I'm out on the Saturday and we're at it. Slowly but surely getting there, so recovery is key. Monday morning, I am in work. I'm trying to take it a little bit easy because of exams at the minute. The lads are just over doing a side of school that we've not been able to do last week, so today's the only early morning we've managed to get it in. And I've just done some initial markouts for some rounders. Wasn't too painful, so happy days. Just walking up to the truck now, gonna grab the truck and go see the boys.
So I'll go over to the other school where Ash and Jack are, and they're just finishing up the little finishing touches. They've already done all the mowing. Ash is just doing all the strimming, and then we head over to another site. This is a new site to us. We don't know if this is going to be a regular client yet, but we're doing some top dressing works on some of the drainage channels that have sunken due to the heat. So we've got 5 tons of absolutely beautiful steriled top dress from George Davies Turf. A massive shout out to GD. And initially we were using a wheelbarrow to distribute it and then rake it, and when the trailer got a bit lighter we used the trailer to run alongside the drainage channels and distribute it that way. So I've got the easy job just to give myself a bit of rest, and Ash and Jack are distributing it and then raking it out to fill the holes. And as you can see here, we had 2 pitches to do and we're on to the last pitch here with, I think in all we did around 20 drainage channels, but customer was mega happy by the end of it, so happy days. Nice easy job for a Monday afternoon. Once we'd finished this pitch, we had to go do some ad hoc work for a parish council. Now hedge work's not underneath this tender, but this path was mega unsafe. We alerted the clerk and they asked us to conduct the work, so we quoted for it and got awarded it. We've just got to tidy up these hedge rows, make them nice and safe so there's good access for pedestrians. And that was the last job of the day. We did 3 or 4 of these alleys. Tuesday morning. This is about 3:30 in the morning, and me and Ash are just sorting out all the kit ready for the day ahead. I take the tractor whilst Ash goes and picks Jack up, and we head down to the school site. Now this is one of the longest drives in the tractor, so I was a bit nervous due to the injury from last week about this journey, but I did have my trusted pillow to keep them nice, safe and comfortable. Anyway, ended up managing getting down there with not too many bumps in the road, as you can see. Well, yeah, it wasn't that bad. And when I arrived on site, the lads had already started to smash the grass cutting. Ash noticed I was coming and decided to let me in, so a quick wave and thank you to Ash, and then we could get round to the back of the field. Now this is one of the largest schools that we do, so there's a lot of grass to cut, and the reason why we got here so early is because we're predicted thunderstorms today, so we're going to try and beat the rain. But as soon as I get onto the field, we get the CHC auto steer logged on and start smashing those AB lines, getting those stripes on the ground and getting the grass cut. With probably around 2 acres to go, the heavens started to open a little bit, not massively, but rain was apparent. So trusting in the CHC nav, I started to get those gears down and start smashing those stripes in as soon as we can. The lads had already finished the grass cutting by this point, and they were getting on with all the strimming and cleaning and tidying and blowing up of all the works they had done. But nonetheless, we're starting to see progress on the school. With the last few little bits left, the rain started coming heavy and fast. We thought it was heavy and fast. It gets a lot worse. But anyway, the majority of the grass cutting was done. It was just the tractor work, so we could be thankful for that. I checked up on the lads once the field was done just to see what bits and bobs they had left, and they didn't have a lot left. We just did the final polishing before we could get wet. Now the rain died down for a little bit, so we thought we'd get the line marker out, but we quickly got told by Mother Nature to come back another day. So we got packed up and called it a day, headed back to the unit, and that was that. So another early start. It's Wednesday morning at around 3:30, and to make things a little bit logistically better, I head out to pick Jack up from his house. Once Jack was collected, headed back to mine where Ash was waiting to drop us all down to the tractor. We hid the tractor in a safe place, and the lads had to go back to the school that we did yesterday to finish the line marking. As they were doing that, I took the tractor to our first school of the day. When I arrived at the school, it must have been around 4:45, maybe 4:30, and I got started straight away with a fresh tube of grease in the grease gun and started to get the Trimax greased up and the tractor. But then I noticed this. One of the nuts was missing on the bolt of the Trimax. Lucky I checked.
Okay, bit of a drama, but I think I found the issue. So someone previously, whoever's owned this Trimax, has put the wrong bolt in there, so it's got the wrong nut. Now I carry the correct nuts from Trimax just in case stuff like this happens, but that actual bolt is completely different to the one the other side. So what I'm gonna have to do is, it's currently 5:30 in the morning, I'm gonna have to risk it for a chocolate biscuit, crack on, we'll get this site done, and then when the boys turn up, I'll have to try and use the van to go to a fastener shop where we can allocate and find a bolt and hopefully fix it. But right now, risk it for a chocolate biscuit. Let's get on with it. So I've used this old ratchet strap and I've tied it round in a triangle around that pin to try and hold that bolt in place. As long as this bolt holds in place, this won't float about and we should be winning. It's a proper battlefield repair, however, it's only got a hold out for about 5 acres and that bit shouldn't vibrate so much. So I'm going to finish greasing and we'll get on with it and we'll fix this later on.
So risking it for a chocolate biscuit with the battlefield repair in place, I got cracking with the boundary line. And I lost about 45 minutes sorting all of that out because I noticed a fair few other things wrong with the Trimax, but we'll get onto that. Anyway, we start getting the stripes down. I've missed a little bit there from the boundary line, but I just wanted to get the AB line started to smash in, and I came back and covered them straight after. The grass had started to hold down here a lot more since the last cut, so there was less mess, so I could whack that ground speed up and we started getting through it fairly quickly. And what a beautiful morning it was. Had to double check my battlefield repair and it had started to come out, so I banged it back in and retied that knot, and it didn't cause me any issues after that. After I'd prepared it, PTO back on, revs up, auto steering gauge, and we got cracking. Drop that clutch, put it in gear, and go, go, go. Try and get this grass cut before the lads turn up so we can actually gain some progress today. But we'll see what happens, shall we? Anyway, once I'd finished the field, I ran round the athletics track a few times just to tidy up any mess so it's nice and easy for when Ash turns up to do the line marking. And by this point, the boys had turned up, so they got all the kit off. Ash had already started up all the strimming, then went straight onto weed control. I could turn the CHC nav off and give the tractor a little bit of rest. Ash was sorting out all the strimming whilst uploading the photos to Hubscape. Jack was doing all the right work and we were starting to make some progress, we thought.
So another issue with the Trimax, roller bearing's gone on one of the rollers. Desperately trying to find someone local. I know George Brown's might be able to help. That will supply a roller bearing and we'll have to try and get it fitted on site, but if not, don't know, we'll see. Let's see where it takes us. Okay, so I'm safely at the next site. I've still got my roller on the Trimax and my ball bag ain't hurting too much, so that's a good thing about today. We think we've sorted a plan. I'm going to see if the plan unfolds, but I'm going to have to wait at the next site for the boys to turn up for the plan to unravel. So let's see if the plan unravels.
And the plan started to take place. Massive thank you to Dale from George Brown's for bringing us out the parts. We couldn't have done it without you. I chucked him a free cup of tea and we got cracking with getting the old roller bearing off, by which point Ash had been out to sort the bolt situation, so we'd got hold of a new bolt also.
Alright, having a bit of a nightmare. We're having to run to grab some bits. Luckily the chairman for the football club's in, so we're going to have power, so I can't get the sleeve off of the old roller, so we're probably going to have to just cut it off, buy a grinder and just cut it off. It's cheaper. I've got a grinder at home, but it's going to be cheaper just buying a new grinder than travelling all the way back to the unit. By the time the fuel, the labour money, etc., it'll drop the van out so the boys can't go out to do other work. Just be a bit of a faff, so yeah. Grab some tools, grab a grinder, hopefully back in. But today does not like me. I've also found this, which again is probably my fault for not checking the tyres daily, but bloody hell mate, today has well and truly buggered me.
So we got back from Screwfix and we set out to cut this sleeve off. I'm not going to show you that because no PPE was worn, but once we got it off successfully, we got the new roller bearing in place and then we could fit the other one straight after. With both the roller bearings now fitted, we could lock them off and happy days.
It's now 12:30. We've been here since 8:30. We would have been home by now. Obviously we started mega early. But we are back on the road. I haven't cut any grass yet. Got a roller bearing there. I'm booked in for a tyre. I need to get this done as soon as possible to go get the tyre changed. And we've done the top roller bearing as well. Massive shout out to Dale Walker at George Brown's for running the parts out to us. We've finally finished it. Yeah, happy days. Let's crack on, get some grass cut so these boys can line mark.
So with the Trimax now fine and dandy, apart from a new tyre, we can get cracking with smashing those stripes down. And I must say the stripes are looking glorious in that midday sun. I am a happy man. It's cutting really well and we're making up some time and speed with how low the grass is and how fast I can run my ground speed. But nonetheless, we've still got some time to make it up. Once the small bit was done, I moved on to the main body of the pitches, trying to get the pitches done as soon as possible. In some places I had to drop the ground speed down, but we were making absolutely excellent progress pitting those stripes down, which meant Ash could start the line marking on the Bocom trike, Jack was doing the strimming and the right work, and I cracked on with getting as many pitches done as soon as possible for the lads to carry on working. We're back in business and that's all that counts. And again, a massive shout out to Dale for bringing the parts out because, well, to be honest with you, we couldn't have done this day without you. We've only a little bit left of this side of the facility. I could see the end is in sight and we were starting to make some time up. Ash is on the last pitch of this side of the site. I'd got the Trimax folded and we were ready to move over to the second side of the site. As soon as I get over there, start marking the boundary up, making a little bit of mess this side, but we've got a plan to sort that. Once the boundary was sorted, I could get smashing those AB lines. I didn't record a lot and we got a lot done, so Ash had already started the line marking on most of the sides. I decided to double stripe this side, so 2 whips in the same direction, and it looked really impressive once it was done. I mainly done this just for speed, so I didn't have to waste any time turning around on the spot. And look at those stripes, it is looking absolutely glorious today. Anywhere where there was excessive mess, we just blew off, got Jack to blow them off, and Ash was out busy line marking. But that is this side complete. Now the lads had to get packed up and then head to another job, but I had to head to Tyres Direct in Bletchley to get the tyre sorted on the Trimax. So Thursday morning came and I was just not feeling myself. Ash dropped me home, I went to the GP, and then yep, a week after surgery, back in hospital. I was still managing to get a few bits and bobs done on my laptop, sorting and organising, but predominantly just rest. You guys are probably wondering what's going on. Well, basically I've started getting some really strange symptoms. Ash picked me up to do work, and yes, I'd been back at work, but not been like massively overdoing it on the tools. I wasn't sat on the mowers or whatnot. Believe it or not, that I found the mowers more uncomfortable than the tractor. The tractor was absolutely fine cutting grass. And yeah, anyway, so went back to the GP. Turned out I had sepsis symptoms, and I've been readmitted. And yeah, I've been back in since Thursday. Luckily, I'm over the worst of it now and just recovering. The hospital's been great, and been looked after really well and whatnot. But just thought I'd address what happened on the video, and it's given me a completely different outlook to my business. I'm incredibly lucky. I said it in last week's video, the way that Ash mucked in, the way that Jack's mucked in. And again, I'm incredibly grateful for that. And I'm actually incredibly grateful for what's happened to me. Because one, I'm now really, really, really energized and I don't know the word for it, but basically I really want to make sure that I implement these processes to protect the business, whether it's me that's ill, whether it's a staff member. So I'm taking these steps now and putting these processes in place that the business will always be protected regardless of what happens to anyone in the team. We can keep going. Now that might seem a bit selfish, but you've got to look at the business as a separate entity, which I haven't been doing. I've been looking at the business as if it is me, but it isn't. It isn't me. It isn't. When I say I've been looking at the business as just me, what I mean by that, I don't mean like it's only me and no one helps. That's not what I mean. I mean as in it's always got to be me to figure out the situations, but it really doesn't have to be. And I've learned that quite rapidly, being off the tools and obviously away in hospital. So yeah, I'm actually really glad that this has happened, and I think it's an actual changing point for the business, and I think some good things will come of it. I know that we've already talked about how a few changes are going to be made. Yeah, and like there's been a couple of days of hard work for Ash and Jack, and Monday is going to be tough for them next week, but the rest of the week, you know, we've strategized and spoke to the clients and whatnot. I've still been doing bits on the laptop, and we've come to a good arrangement. So yeah, I'm actually in a weird way really happy. But this is the current setting. So this is the current settings. I'm allowed to go for a walk. I've got my cannula in, got my anti-clot socks on, and just taking regular walks to try and keep the clots away and keep active and have a bit of sunshine. But yeah, again, thank you for watching Behind the Blade. I really appreciate your support. It has been tough times. A lot's been happening this week. We've had machines go down, people go down, and we've overcome it, and that's what it's all about. And I'm grateful that we can keep overcoming these hurdles. So thank you for watching Behind the Blade. I'd really, really appreciate it if you could share this to someone that you know, even if they're not interested in grounds maintenance, even if they're just a business owner or interested in our industry. I'm sure it will reside with them. So every share, every like, every comment means the world to us. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Behind the Blade. You can click here to watch content that YouTube thinks you might like, here to watch previous Behind the Blades, or here to subscribe, and we'll maybe catch you in the next one. I don't know if I'll be out by then. So it's not a video next week, it's because I'm on break. See you in a bit. Thanks for watching.